What features or amenities were absolutely essential in making the home work as an Airbnb for you?
Well, looking at online as far as what was available, what was trending, it had great reviews. What was important were things like having a nice kitchen. When it comes to the range,
The island,
the island was a big piece as
very
well
much so.
as a gathering spot. It's very much a modern type of thing that's in place now, as well as the bathrooms. But much like you've noted when we're looking at purchasing homes in the past, was kitchens and bathrooms sells homes.
Absolutely, master
So
bedroom as well.
especially in the master or primary. And that was one thing that was kind of important. What were the bones of how it was built, and maybe some design aspects which were not super important because we deal with design after the fact. But based on the bones and layout, when it comes to the type of bathroom experience that people would find luxurious or would be drawn to as a place I want to experience when I'm away from home. So that was super important as well as far as amenities. But I think even just beyond the amenities itself, great refrigerator also, was what could I do, sweat equity to add value to the home to make it more experiential. Like for example, this property here, the backyard was trash, but at least had a yard.
Yeah, you like projects, so that
Yep.
goes in line with you.
And so there was room for me to there was space, there was land for me to work on actually building out a backyard retreat, which was not present when we acquired the home, but it was a vision seeing that being available. Another aspect was having a bedroom on the first floor. We think about the elderly or those who may be handy capable, so to speak,
Absolutely.
where climbing stairs is not necessarily a forte. And so it was presented as office space or a bedroom, but then it's like, hey, what about making it a flex space when you need a fourth bedroom? It have a Murphy bed that we installed that can make it a bedroom. We want it just be a lounge space, put the Murphy bed up. There's a couch, TV, etc. Also for travelers, right? There was a large closet in the downstairs bedroom. Instead of just making it be a closet, actually make it more of an office space for those who might be traveling for work or need a workspace while they're traveling with their family on vacation. So it wasn't just looking at the amenities that were present in the home, but also how we can make the space, envision the space and repurpose certain spaces within the home to add more value for guests who are seeking a refuge or a retreat while they are traveling in Atlanta.
Yeah, that you did. You added a lot of good aspects to the home that when it is time to resell it, well, we shouldn't have a problem. I love working with you because I hear myself reiterating some of the things that you've learned from us working together back to me. So that's always cool when you work with a repeat client and you hear, I'm like, I know he learned that from me.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. I also love when you say that. But anyway, moving on. What were any red flags or deal breakers that would have made you walk away from the property?
Ooh, there were a number of properties that we've seen that were like, nah. So I would say it was advantageous that my father was an electrical contractor and HVAC and had his own business the entirety of my life. And because he also managed my parents and their parents or my grandparents' respective properties, a lot of repair work, whether it be plumbing, electrical, drywalling, etc., and working with general contractors. And so I had, I guess, maybe a bit more of an eye to recognize shoddy
You
work and
did, yeah.
craftsmanship. And so one of the big concerns, Atlanta has a lot of old homes, at least in this area, there's a lot of old homes
Yeah.
that are like 100 years old, but a lot of them being flipped and
Poorly flipped as well.
poorly. And, being very diligent as far as, looking at the floors and seeing how they're buckling or going underneath the house and seeing how the support beams were not accurately installed and just recognize, hey, this is going to be a problem down the road. If I wouldn't feel comfortable living here, I would not want any guests to feel to live here either or to spend any more so time here as well. So there's quite a bit of
Red
due
flags.
diligence in identifying red flags. And new construction homes, I'm a bit more impartial to, but even then, still doing due diligence with new construction is important because they'll still cut corners too.
And in turn, you learning from me, I've learned from you via senior some of the things that you've taught me to look out for when working with other clients and yourself as well, and for myself in our home. So that it's been a great experience.
I would say one key learning: if a builder's not willing to provide a 1-year warranty,
Red flag immediately.
red flag. If you're not willing to stand by your work, then I'm not going to buy your work.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've learned that. All right, so moving on, what was the biggest challenge during the home search or the most surprising part of looking for this property?
I would say maybe at the time that we were looking, there wasn't necessarily a critical mass yet of modern contemporary or modern transitional homes. They were still very much traditional Southern style homes. And having lived in other parts of the country, Boston, Seattle, DC metro area,
Don't forget Brazil now.
oh yeah, and outside the country as well. I've gained an appreciation for different styles in which homes are built and designed, and realize and recognize that I necessarily wasn't a Southern traditional anymore, so to speak. And so trying to find a home that I would be proud of, and that would also stand out in Atlanta was a challenge. So when we came upon this property, which actually kind of a serendipitous, it wasn't necessarily the most planned, it kind of just happened.
Yeah, elsewhere. It was an impromptu showing. I do recall it.
It definitely stood out, but then also like, okay, we put a star by that. Let's go look at some other stuff and see what else exists to confirm that what we saw indeed was worth circling back and stood out compared to what else was on the market at the time.
Yeah, and that it did. I do recall. I remember we were looking at the property next door, and we were like, "Hey, this one's on the market too." I'm not even sure why it didn't come up on our radar initially, but we were able to pivot and get in and look at it, and now we're here. All right, so moving on to the next question, like when you were thinking about the design of the home and planning on putting it together, like what was your mind frame and thinking and concepts of doing that? Because as we can see, it's beautifully put together and staged and furnished, and you have a great interior designer of a friend.
So I have to be very honest, give credit where credit is due. Had I did the designing,
shout out to the Deltas.
It would have been complete sets from Ashley Furniture. Matching everything.
That's why you're blessed to be surrounded by Deltas and Sorors that take care of you. So.
Yeah. So my significant other and her best friend, who is a burgeoning interior designer, both from Florida, they had an eye and for
Shout
designing
out to them
space.
Florida girls, by the way.
For Florida Deltas.
Absolutely.
For designing this space, and I just like, hey, here's the budget. Here's what we need for these different spaces, and let's try to stay within the budget. And let's not make it overly feminine. Let's make it unisex.
Again, not overly feminine. We just want to make sure that resale value is there, and that you can appeal to just more guests than women. That's all.
Yes.
All right. So moving on. What did you imagine as your ideal guest would be in the event? Event goers, tourists, families, visiting students, business travelers. Like, what's the ideal person that you see clicking on the home?
Yeah, so the ideal customer profile or ideal guest profile, the thinking was someone similar to myself or my group of friends, wherein they are professionals. They can appreciate a certain quality of stay and experience that comes with it. So whether they're traveling for vacation, whether it's friends getting together for reunion or homecoming, whether it be families that are coming to Atlanta to go to the aquarium and some of the Centennial Park activities and things along those lines, or even business travelers. We've seen quite a number of guests that are presenting or exhibiting at the Georgia World Congress Center, which is literally just 1 mile straight shot down the road.
Absolutely.
That I found this to be very convenient, as well as more cost effective and more comfortable. And so that's a great customer profile as well. So those were the target ideal customer guest profiles that we went after, and have been seeing great success as a result of it.
Yeah. So now that you've acquired the property, you quickly realize that it's not passive income. It's
active income. It's very active.
Meaning what does that entail?
Well, it's this notion, this nomenclature. Hey, I want my money to make money. I just want to invest in something and I get the dividends and what have benefits from it by doing nothing at all. Having a short-term rental or even a long-term rental for that matter, it's not passive at all. It requires active involvement, being engaged. So we talk about quality experiences. It's not just the experience that is part of the home, but it's the experience that we provide as hosts, right? How we're engaging with the clients, how we make sure we're
Absolutely.
supporting them. Like right when you go to a hotel, you are accustomed to are expecting the room to be a certain caliber or whatever pedigree. Great, but then also know that you can call down to the concierge or to the front desk and have ask questions and things along those lines. So very much being actively involved and supporting guests and having a quality experience.
While they're here. Yeah,
Yep.
absolutely. You just kind of have to put yourself in the shoes of the guest. We've all rented Airbnb, stayed in the hotel, and you want to make sure that if you need more towels, if the Wi-Fi goes out, or like you said the other day, the electricity went out, or I think one time you had to come and start to show people how to work the grill.
Yep.
You're very
Or work the fire pit.
oh boy. Wow, okay. Well, I think that's it. I think that wraps up all of our questions. Do you have anything else that you want to add or feel you want to touch on anything?
I will say it has been quite rewarding. Not necessarily from a financial standpoint. Yes, it has been financially beneficial, but just having an additional outlet. If you are an individual who likes having projects or likes knowing that what you've built, others are able to enjoy and find value from it, because this is a product.
Yeah.
A service that others find or discover, thinks is valuable, commits to it, enjoys, and then seeing the fruits of that labor in their reviews, what have you, whether public or private, is rewarding.
Nice. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate you giving us the opportunity to film and just get your thoughts and your process in purchasing this property. And as always, thank you for using me as your go-to realtor.
Always.
Thank you.